Hi there, Mythfits. I hope you're having a good day. In this video, I'm going to talk to you all about the Forgive My Fin series, including where I got my inspiration, what books are in this series, and what my future plans are. So let's talk about fins. If you have read the Forgive My Fin series or heard anything about it, you might be wondering where I got the idea for the whole series. If you're not familiar, Forgive My Fins is about Lily Sanderson, who is a half-mermaid princess who goes to high school in the mainland. Um, and the idea came the summer after I spent a year teaching seventh grade science, which was a challenge. After that year, I decided I needed a break and I went to Florida for part of the summer to stay at a condo that my family owned at the time. And I spent a lot of time just like thinking and hanging out at the beach. And at that time, my agent was submitting Oh My Gods to publishers and getting lots and lots of rejections. And it finally got to the point where she said, we might have to like start thinking about another project because Oh My Gods is not finding its home. So there I was in Florida, like really sad because Oh My Gods was not getting acquired and trying to, spend time on the beach and recover from my year of teaching. And I was lying on the beach one day, looking out at the Gulf of Mexico and thinking, oh, wouldn't it be cool if a merman could walk out of the ocean right now and walk up to me and bestow his magical mer powers on me with a kiss so I could be a mermaid and go swim underwater with him? And I knew, of course, that that was not a probable thing that could happen, but I also knew immediately that it was a good idea for a book. So, really, thanks to a year of teaching seventh graders and all those rejections on Oh My Gods, is why I came up with the idea for Forgive My Fins. From that initial spark of an idea on the beach has grown an entire series. So, Forgive My Fins, the first book in the series, which is where the series gets its title, is this book. And kind of the main hook of this book is that Princess Lily lives on land and she has been crushing on this boy, Brody, for a long time. And finally, it's her senior year, and she knows time is running out because after graduation, she's going to have to go back home to her underwater kingdom of Thalassemia. So, at this Halloween costume dance that they're having, she decides she's going to take her chance. She's going to tell him how she feels. She's going to, confess everything to him and hope that he likes her back. But in the middle of it is her next door neighbor, Quince, this bad boy biker who, like, all he does is like pester her and pick on her and drives her crazy. So it turns out she is going to meet Brody in the library, the school library during the dance, which is dark and off limits and, nobody's supposed to be in there. But she knows this is like the perfect private place to like confess her feelings. So she goes in there and she's waiting for Brody and he's not coming, he's not coming. And finally the door opens and he walks up to her and like she's about to say how she feels, but before she can even say anything, he kisses her. And then he speaks and she realizes it's not Brody, it's her next door neighbor Quince, and now she is magically bonded to him. So that is how Forgive My Fins starts and kind of starts this whole series. So that is Forgive My Fins. The follow-up books I can't tell you too much about because they will be spoilers about what happens in Forgive My Fins. The second book is called Fins Are Forever, and in it, one of Lily's cousins, Docinia, who's kind of annoying little brat, ends up having to be on land for a while. So a lot of the story revolves around her, but still more Lily and Quince. The third book is called Just for Fins. In this one, I address some more serious issues about climate change and ocean warming and the devastating effects that climate change is having on the oceans, and therefore, if you're a mermaid, on the water around you. So that's an important part there. And then I have one more book in the series so far, which is Pretty in Pearls. This is kind of a standalone novella. It's not as long as the other books, but it's about Lily's mermaid best friend, Periwinkle Wentletrap, and her adventure with this kind of piratey merboy that she has a crush on. So those are the books in the Forgive My Fin series so far. But what about what's next? So as of right now, which is September of 2019, I am currently revising a novella for a secondary character. Um, One of the main characters in Pretty in Pearls is Riadas Balanato, who is Perry's crush. And he has a younger sister, Coral, who also has a crush. Um, and I'm writing her story right now. If you want to read the story that inspired this story that I'm working on, that's on my website, and I will link it below in the description. It's called When Coral Dreams. I'm also considering doing some more novellas about secondary characters like Shannon, who is Lily's human best friend. There's also a story about her called First Swim that I'll link below. And then also the Terrible Trio, who are my bad girls of the series, but, by the end are maybe not as horrible and awful as we think they are. And there's a story about one of them, again, below, Astria's story in A Shore Thing. So I'm thinking about writing those, but I don't have specific plans for anything more than Coral's story right now. Ultimately, I hope to write more books about Lily and Quince. I have one really big idea that I think would make a good story, not to be too much of a teaser, but like I can't reveal it. It's too good. So I'm hoping to do at least one, maybe two more books ultimately in the Forgive My Fin series for Lily and Quince. And then I think I might spin off into another mermaid series. If you've read the series at all, you know that Thalassonia is not the only mermaid kingdom in the ocean, and that there are dozens around the world. And I think there are stories in all of them. So I have one in particular that I'm thinking about, which is not a kingdom that is mentioned in the Finn series. So, which means it's not a kingdom in the Western Atlantic. But that's on the prospect list for the future. So stay tuned. Well, that's everything I have to say about Forgive My Fins right now. I hope you enjoyed learning about where it came from, where it's at, and where it's going, and that you will fall in love with Lily and her crew just as much as I have. So I'm going to sign off, and until next time, stay magical.